So, if you guys want to learn how to trade options, purchase my ebook located at wordly41.gumroad.com. And basically, an update on my DogeCoin position. Currently, I own 42,904 worth of DogeCoin currently, and right now the position is down $5,305 with 49 cents. So, this position is down tremendously. And so, basically, looking at DogeCoin, right? Let's see, DogeCoin. So on the daily chart, it looks like it's struggling to go over that 20-day moving average. On the 4-hour time chart, it's below all the moving averages. Right now, it's currently below the 9-day moving average. If it can, break through, if DogeCoin can break through the 9-day moving average, we can see a retest of that 50-day moving average. Once we break through the 50-day moving average, then we can retest those 180 or 200-day moving averages. But from here, it looks like for the past 2 days, it's had trouble breaking that 9-day moving average. So it looks like we could see further downwards momentum. Who knows? But we'll have to see what happens. And then looking at Bitcoin, on the daily chart, it's finally above the 50-day moving average. So the next thing that Bitcoin will do is it needs to retest that it needs to retest that 200-day moving average. So so that way we can see if it can break through it. Once it breaks through the 200-day moving average, we'll have to break through the 180-day moving average. And then on the weekly chart, it looks like on the weekly it's having trouble breaking that 9-day moving average, but by the looks of it, it looks like it's used the 50-day moving average as support twice. So this candle and this candle right here used the 50-day moving average as support. So if Bitcoin decides to, fall randomly out of nowhere, it's most likely that it will use the 50-day moving average as support. So, and then on the monthly chart, it's doing pretty well actually. So in the monthly chart, Bitcoin has used the 9-day moving average as support actually. So I'm pretty sure we could see maybe a crazy momentum towards the upside from Bitcoin one of these days or months actually, because I do feel like if it's doing pretty good holding itself above that 9-day moving average, then that means there's a lot of demand right now for Bitcoin, I guess you could say. And I guess people are trying its best to not sell out the position, but to more as so like accumulate right now as much as they can, because they're seeing that probably if Bitcoin is not breaking any of these moving averages, then it's most likely that it's these people that are accumulating Bitcoin are hoping, or I guess they're probably thinking that right now that these people are accumulating Bitcoin right now are probably going to start seeing that, okay, since a lot of us are holding on to Bitcoin, we could see like a big spike towards the upside soon. But who knows, right? So and then so a lot of people did think that this year Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but altcoin season was going to happen this year. It's still uncertain what's going to happen because of all this uncertainty that's going around with the economy, tariffs and whatnot, right? So basically looking at the altcoin season index right now, we are in still a Bitcoin season. We're still not in a altcoin season yet. Once we reach 75, that's when we're in a altcoin season. As of now, we're not in one yet. And then looking at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, basically you can see that let's see. So in 2016, Bitcoin halved, it went up. 2020, Bitcoin halved, it went up. This year, basically 2024, right? Bitcoin halved, and it looks like it's having trouble. But in a way, I do feel like once this whole uncertainty of tariffs and maybe we can have an agreement with China about like a trade deal, then that's when I feel like when the overall stock market / crypto market could see a big spike towards the upside. That's when we'll start seeing that Bitcoin, going past, what was its number? Like the highest it's reached? What was the highest number that Bitcoin has reached? So the all-time high of Bitcoin was 109,455. So once we surpass that number, I feel like that's when we'll start seeing that momentum of Bitcoin spiking more up. And once we finally start seeing that, okay, we're starting to see that Bitcoin is slowing down, it's not going up so much, right? Usually what happens when we start seeing that, right, Bitcoin slowing down, we'll start seeing the other altcoins start to out of nowhere rise. So basically what needs to happen is that Bitcoin will need to like go up tremendously, but then all of a sudden it needs to stop going up a lot. And then what will happen is that these altcoins will follow suit, just like Bitcoin, right? It'll be their turn to start going up. And so basically once we start seeing Bitcoin going up, and then it finally relaxes a little bit, that's when we'll start seeing altcoins start spiking. For now, it's still not the case because of all this uncertainty that's going on around with tariffs, right? And then like Jerome Powell is on talking about these about the tariffs and how this could overall affect pretty much their whole progress that they've been doing. So pretty much we will have to keep an eye on interest rates, because if inflation does come hot next month, then we could see like the Fed they'll have to raise interest rates no matter what, because their goal is to basically control inflation, and basically that's their goal, what they're trying to do. But with tariffs on the line, right, basically it's kind of ruining their progress, I guess you could say. So we'll have to see what next month's inflation numbers will be. If that's the case, if it's like pretty a little bit more than what they expect, then this could be a possibility that they'll have to raise interest rates no matter what, since I'm pretty sure they don't want to ruin their progress on inflation. So that is pretty much it, really. The only thing I can say is try to be careful if you're playing in the stock market. Not even playing, but trading / investing in the stock market. I highly recommend trading only mega cap stocks and only known crypto currencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum / DogeCoin. Not really, but I would only stick to those two, Bitcoin / Ethereum, because those are probably like the most common traded cryptocurrencies. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, take care, and this is not financial advice. As always, take care. Bye.